Whenever you're ready.
Who's doing intro?
You can do intro. I'll
Cheers.
do outro.
Right, hang on.
Me.
Right, okay, you ready?
Can we fucking record now?
Yo guys, welcome back to another TUG podcast. Well, obviously known as the TUGcast. I'm joined by my co-host TUG Ewok
Hello.
and TUG Luna.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about serial killers. But before we get into that, I just want to make sure, go check out Fake Grips. They obviously power this podcast. And if you use code TUG at checkout, you'll get 20% off all orders. They are really cheap and comfy. So, yeah, I advise getting them. But
I mean, the 20% off just makes it cheaper than it already is. So.
Exactly. And if you haven't already, make sure you go check out our merch store. We do have merch out. I'm wearing it right now, and it's pretty comfy, I must say. But yeah, so he wants to go first.
I mean, seeing as though you did the intro, I'll let you go first.
Fuck. Right. Okay.
He's finessed him.
So yeah, I've actually been not into, because that'd be fucking weird. But I've been looking at like Jeffrey Dahmer lately. Yeah, we was talking about it before this. Obviously, you went round drugging gay men, killed them, stole their parts in his fridge, whatever it was. But what you call it? Apparently, he found out he was gay when he was playing in woods one day, and he saw a man on a run, and he thought he just wanted to fuck him.
I want that as well, though. So the same man that he seen running, that was originally that was going to be his first victim.
Yeah, it was, because he
he
was
sat
gonna
there.
kill him and then fuck him.
Yeah, he was gonna beat him with like a stick, and he was literally sat there in the woods waiting. But then
He didn't run past that day.
yeah,
Which lucky guy.
Yeah, to be fair, it is when you
What
when
an
you look
escape.
at it. It's he got off quite lucky,
Well, yeah,
which is.
It's mad to think that there's someone like that just keeping body parts in a fridge.
I mean, to be fair, it happens a lot more than you'd expect it to, though. That's the weird thing. And
Let me
like,
just cut my penis off and put it in the fridge and use it whenever I have a shag.
no,
Just
but
screw
I mean,
it back on.
in general, like it is a weird one. It's
Oh,
it's I think so. The interesting thing about him is he had like a really quite a normal childhood as well.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of it is like it comes from sort of something in their childhood where they have like a psychological breakdown or something like triggers it. But
not this guy.
like this, yeah, it was quite a weird case. It was kind of he was born like that because he was dissecting animals and stuff and killing them from a young age, and then it just developed into that. He was considered quite like a normal kid at school. He was quite outgoing, and he had friends and whatnot. But
He just wanted a shag.
yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, I think I don't know. You'd have to. I think you've got the information pulled up from him, but I think one of his youngest victims was like 12 or something, 12 or 14, like really like young kind of age, like. And it's a weird one. It does make you think about what's going on
It freaked
in
me out the
someone's head.
first time I saw it. I was not happy. Oh.
It's
I reckon we let Luna talk about a serial killer.
yeah, I reckon Luna's got some interesting lined up.
Well, this one's kind of like been brought into the eyes recently because of a TV show on, I think it was ITV.
Yeah, I believe it was ITV.
So, aka Dennis Nelson. I can't remember what his nickname was, but I think everyone just calls him Des. There was actually a book written about him called Killing for Comfort, I think.
Big Des.
He basically was. It says. Oh god, where was this? Scottish killer. He basically engaged in a lot of necrophilia, apparently. He murdered at least 12 men and boys. Most of them were quite young, and that was between the 70s and 80s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It is.
The psychological part of his background was his granddad died and he loved his granddad, so he associated death with love.
Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
Um,
Oh, go on. I'll let you speak.
I say apparently we like talking about murderers that like little kids.
No, it's a weird concept, to be fair.
I think
It's
his first kill was like 12 to 14 years old. I can't remember exactly.
Oh damn.
yeah, no, it is a weird one because you've sort of it's hard for like trying to comprehend the mindset of someone like that. Like to think about like why they did it. Like I think it's interesting sort of when you see interviews with people like that when they break down things, and some of them do feel some remorse, which is quite weird as well, but like others like don't understand that what they did was bad. Like they see it as the right thing because that's like how their mind was processing it. So I think the whole concept of things like that happening to a normal person's weird, but then at the same time, it's only like a couple of 100 years ago or so that it was a normalish thing, like to kill people. Like obviously there was certain laws and rules around it, but I mean you've only got to go back to like the Wild West when you could challenge someone to a duel and you could kill them there and then.
Now when you challenge someone to a duel, it just means a vape.
I was thinking more Pokemon, mate.
Yeah. Fight me on Pokemon Go.
Actually, I'm thinking of like 13-year-old boys saying 1v1 me on like a video game of some.
Back in day on Modern Warfare 2.
Take me back to MW2 interventions only, boy. But no, I think it's a weird concept to try and grasp. It's
I'd get why they do it psychologically.
I don't want to say it's interesting because that sounds bad, but it is quite interesting to like read into or see like interviews with serial killers because it's something different. Like,
oh, hang on, my FBI agents just messaged me.
He's like, you're treading on thin ice here, boy. But no, I mean, like, they're just like the general concept of it and like learning about it is quite an interesting subject, and it does interest like a lot of people. It's not like it's some niche kind of thing. It interests a lot of people because I don't know.
It's like I started watching that that Hernandez case on Netflix. The American footballer who killed them people. I would start watching that and I was hooked instantly. Like, it's mad. The stuff that they go through to like find out.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just like the general murder part of it as well. It's following like the entire investigation, seeing how they pieced like things together to figure out like who's done it.
Most of the time in like the documentaries you see, they always like bring up, in the past he was abused by his parents or something. Like it's always something along them lines.
Because it's like a mental trigger though. It's to do with like trauma and stuff in the brain, and it's again, like I said, it's quite like a primal emotion where you just kind of they switch off, like they don't know what's.
There was this one kid, I think it was in Britain. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he used to like he got beat by his dad, right? And he was sent to an orphanage with like his brothers and sisters, and then the parents got him back. But his dad like locked him in a room and like went in there and beat him, and he was locked in there for like years or something like that. And he started like going out and murdering people who were abusive to like kids and stuff. So it was kind of like a thing, like a justice type
vigilante.
Like a vigilante. But I see
why
he'd do it. Like it kind of like
there was the guy in America that was he was going around and hunting paedophiles and stuff. I don't know if he actually murdered any of them. I know he beat them really bad. I can't remember if he murdered any of them. But things like that, like even if they murder them, like you can kind of see like where they're coming from with things like that, because they're doing what they think's right to prevent things happening to other people. So that one's like, again, a different kind of
But it's just making one crime
area in the subject. Yeah, exactly. It's a different area in the subject. So one I would like to bring up is it's a very well known one, but it is one that really fascinates me, and that is the Zodiac Killer. I don't know if you know this.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it is. There's been movies, there's been books, there's been TV shows, there's been it was even featured in, I don't know if you've ever seen American Horror Story.
I haven't, but I know what you're on about.
Yeah, it was even featured in that. Like it's a big interest for a lot of people because the person's never been caught. No one ever knows who it is. It's been alleged that it was actually, like, the initial ones may have been done by one person, but others may have been like copycats and not the actual one. There was the night there was a taxi driver killed. He was shot dead in the back of his cab, and the only sketch the police have of him was given by two police officers, and they actually let him go. So he was around in the area, but they'd got through on the police radio that it was a black male.
Oh yeah.
When in fact it was obviously a white male, and they'd got through on the police scanner that it was a black male, so they let this man go, and that is alleged to be that was actually the Zodiac Killer, and they let him go because of some misinformation. So he could have been caught. He was literally like in their grasp.
Yeah.
And he wrote a letter in saying that he'd actually stayed around the crime scene in a park in a bush or something, and they'd been around him and everything. Like they'd been basically on top of him, but still not caught him.
Yeah, well, that was mad.
But he murdered. Bear with me, I've got a fact check here. Can't remember how many people it was, but he was. So he killed 5, and injured 2. They was the confirmed ones, but it's in the possibility that there is 20 to 30 unconfirmed killings of his. And so originally, like, the ones he went for was couples, so like, boyfriend and girlfriend and stuff. And then they believe the taxi driver one was to throw them off the trail, so like to break the chain. So obviously most serial killers repeat what they do, like they go for the same sort of victims, like they have a profile that they can build around them. That's what threw the police off about him, because it was quite sporadic and irregular.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one because he was a smart man in the way that he did the things he did.
Yeah. You kind of got to be doing them stuff, don't you?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Like, the silliest mistake could just get you caught.
Well, yeah. But yeah, no. It's a very interesting one because he toyed around with the police, the media, like everyone. He literally strung everyone along and then just disappeared into thin air.
Oh, damn. No, what do you call it? I was reading up one of the most interesting murderers to me is the Iceman Killer, because he was like a Polish like mobster.
Oh yeah,
He just sounds like the coolest person in the world. I'd hang out with him.
It's a nickname and a half, innit? The Iceman.
Yeah.
That like if you hear them words, you know it's someone you don't fuck with.
His nicknames were the Polak, the Iceman, big, rich, and then the devil himself. Like, who wouldn't want to hang out with someone like that?
Yeah, you also wouldn't fuck with someone like that.
Just like, yo, big, rich, what's going on? Well, nah, apparently, like, Phil killed 5 people, and then, like, he got convicted of 2 life sentences. But he did, like, loads of interviews about it, and he was very open about it all.
Yeah.
But, nah, it's pretty cool.
See, the thing with that as well is that's quite interesting from a mobster for them to be open, because generally with the mob, if you're in the mob, you don't really speak about the mob, because if you do, you end up with a target on your back. You then become the enemy of the same people that you was like family with.
Thing is, I don't think anybody in the mob would fuck with him.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like,
he could
like,
say
yeah,
anything and they'd be
one.
like, yeah, just let it go.
Yeah, we'll let him have a pass, mate. I don't really want to be sending anyone after him.
Oh, nah, it's pretty interesting.
It's one of them ones. It's a weird one. But Luna, have you got another one you'd like to speak about?
This one was a famous one. The Moors murders.
Oh yeah, that was actually happened just down the road from where I lived.
That's a bit shady.
No, I wasn't born at the time, obviously, but just down the road from where I lived was the actual moors where it happened.
Yeah, it was Myra Hindley and Ian Brady. They wanted to commit the perfect crime. They thought they could do it, and they started killing kids. And I think all of them were between like 10 and 17.
Yeah, they was all really young.
Yeah. Like literally, they sexually assaulted 4 of them and buried them in the fields, and they took photos on their graves. Like, that's just messed up.
Oh, cheeky.
Yeah, they was a different kind of. They theirs didn't come from problems. They just came from that they was fucking evil people.
Yeah.
Like, the evil just ran so deep in them. Like, Ian Brady, for example, the one boy that was never found, even like on his deathbed after all them years, like wouldn't tell them where he was buried.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't give the family that closure, because they was just that evil that they just wanted to keep seeing people suffer.
Yeah. Sorry for any background noise you're about to hear. But
Oh no, you're alright.
yeah, I think one of the things that was like even more interesting was when they got caught, and obviously all the evidence was found and collected. There was a recording of what they'd done to one of the victims, and police literally retired after that. Like, they couldn't stand what they heard. They were that mortified.
Yeah, I think that whole case in general, I mean, them two like, between them two and Fred and Rose West, like, the crimes are strikingly like similar in terms of how they was and how disgusting and evil like they actually was. That doesn't come from like a place of any childhood problems or anything. That comes from like a place of just pure evil and just wanting to cause people harm, which is the worst thing about it. Like,
Well, Swiss's the reason was just to commit the perfect crime. They
yeah,
didn't call the police. Like, that's not a reason to kidnap kids and kill them.
I think the best criminals of all time are Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh my god. Wow.
Nah, best criminal of all time, DB Cooper.
Oh my god, yes. That is the most...
That
I'd say
yeah.
it's the most perfect heist, but, like, he didn't get the cash, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, no, he didn't get all of it, though.
He got like
He got, like,
it was
he got,
like $100,000, and it's
yeah,
like in today's money. In today's money, it's like something absolutely ridiculous. Like that is the perfect crimes.
Oh, mate.
or the escape from Alcatraz.
Yeah, but are they still alive? That's the thing.
Well, the FBI received a letter this year actually from someone claiming to be one of them. So
It's just that
you
I could
never
claim
know.
to be Jimmy back at it again.
Well, you are.
I know.
But yeah, no, them two are the two, like, for me, they're the perfect crimes because nobody actually knows what happened. Nobody knows if they lived, if they died, if they got away with it. Like, you'd never
If they
know.
did do it, like, that is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
that is something I'd brag about.
Yeah. No, the legend has it that DB Cooper broke his legs and died. Others say that he lived and went on.
It's just there crawling around in a field like a fucking zombie.
Hey, mate. If it meant I had 100k,
Oh, damn.
I'd be down.
Nah, it's insane. So many, what do you call it? The events that have happened.
It's weird, isn't it? Crime, like it's one of them things. Like you're either born into it or something happens to make you go into it.
It's like, what do you call it? Was it the Iranian embassy that got stormed and the SAS had to do that recovery mission because they had like loads of hostages in London.
Oh, are you on about?
You know which one I'm on about, don't you?
Yeah, in the embassy when they had to bloody go in through like the windows.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Stuff.
I think it was the Iranian embassy. I'm not too sure, but nah, that.
I know, I do know what you're on about.
That story intrigued me so much because, like, to be sat there, I can't remember how long they were there. It was like 2 days or something. I don't know, but like,
I think it was more than that.
yeah, innit? But the fact that
It was a long time.
It was because they made a documentary on it, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a movie on it as well, actually, a really good one. Well, there was there enough time for them to have like a kind of skimmed down like training version of the embassy for them to work on how they were going to storm it and stuff.
But I feel like it's a good thing that they managed to defuse the situation. Didn't they all die?
Oh yeah.
The people that stormed the place.
What? The people that took the hostages.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they all died, didn't they?
I want to say they did, but I don't know. I think they might have captured some of them. I don't know.
Hang on, I'm going to search it up now.
But another I like to go for the mysterious ones, me, that have never been caught, and this is one that's kind of like really ingrained in British culture because of how significant it is, but it would be one Jack the Ripper.
Oh yes.
It's a classic one and it's a very well known one. But again, it's a different kind of one though, because it was in a time where the police was quite relatively new. The police was still hated at the time, actually, like by Londoners and whatnot. There was quite a stigma around police, and that as well as forensics hadn't actually really been invented. Like, you know, to catch a killer, you basically had to see him do it, or you had to know, like, someone had to have seen him do it. So it's it's quite a weird one. I mean, well, I say weird. Well, it is weird because he mutilated the victims and stuff. But there's so many different people that it's been alleged to be from. Like, there was parts of the royal family that it was expected to be. I believe it was a prince or or a duke or something like that. It was someone in the royal family. There was a butcher it was expected to be because of the leather apron and knives and craft of it. You know, it was just a general. I don't know how to describe it really. It was a weird one. It was dotted around London, but all quite in a confined space. Obviously, with Jack the Ripper, he went for prostitutes. They was easy victims. You know, they was trying to work for the money, so all he had to do was flash some cash, and that was it. He had his victims, you know. Funny enough, we had one in Yorkshire called the Yorkshire Ripper, who went for the same things. That was an interesting one. But no, I think if I had a time machine, I'd go back for this one and see who did it.
Just to investigate.
Yeah, just to like, I don't know. I'd go like outside, like 2 minutes or so before he did it, and I'd be like, "There we go. I know who Jack the Ripper is."
And just never tell anyone. Just your little secret.
Yeah, exactly. I'd keep
You
it to
have to
myself.
hide, otherwise he would have gone for you instead of the victim.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'd keep it to myself. I'd be like, I know who he is. Like I'd know to myself that I knew who Jack the Ripper was,
Oh.
and that'd be probably like one of the best things in the world to know.
Imagine having that
And
information.
you'd have a upper hand in any room. You'd be like, well, yeah, I know who Jack the Ripper is. The fucking have that.
Yeah, but then nobody would believe you.
You just whip out your time machine, and be like, right, come on then, let's go.
Show the evidence.
Off. It's like off we go. Get in.
Right, if I had a time machine, I'd go see dinosaurs, mate.
No, because the Earth was really warm.
Exactly.
I don't fancy that.
Rock up in me speedos.
Yeah, but if you mistime it,
I wonder what the first murder was.
It'll have been.
Caveman.
Yeah, well, it'll have been Neanderthal. It'll have been either a Neanderthal killing a Homo sapien. Are we on
Homo
about for
erectus.
modern? Are we on about for modern humans or
No,
just
just
like
the very first murder.
what in humans?
Yeah.
Well, it'd have been like it'd have been like the very start of humans fighting over food or territory or shelter or something.
Anyway, going back to the Iranian embassy, right?
Oh, you've figured it out.
I
have you?
figured it out. 5 of them were killed and 1 was captured.
There we
But
go.
you
I
ready
knew
for this?
I knew one of them was
Right.
captured.
I'll read out this paragraph. This is one of the paragraphs on Wikipedia. Right. So by the 6th day of the siege, the gunmen were increasingly frustrated and lack of progress in meeting their demands. That evening, they killed a hostage and threw his body out the embassy. The SAS, where they initiated Operation Nimrod to rescue the remaining hostages, abseiling from the roof and forcing entry through the window. During the 17-minute raid, they rescued all but 1 of the remaining hostages and killed 5 of the 6 hostage takers. An inquest cleared and the SAS of any wrongdoing. The sole remaining gunman served 27 years in British prison.
Do you wanna know an interesting fact about the SAS?
Go on.
Pretty much every special forces around the world has been trained by the SAS.
Oh, isn't there like one person that used to be in the SAS? Is it Andy McNabb on it? He's not allowed like back in any like of the fucking bases.
Andy McNabb.
I think it. Hang on, wait. Let me have a look. I'm probably wrong there. I'm sorry if I've.
Is he
offended
been on a TV show?
Probably, yeah. Andy McNabb's a well-known SAS.
Yeah,
Troop.
yeah. I don't know. But yeah, no, the SAS pretty much trained every special forces around the world because how good they are. So if you have a special forces in your country, chances are the SAS is the reason they're so good. But Luna, do you have any others you'd like to talk about?
One that I learned about recently, which isn't actually well known. Like it's kind of like popular, but not like your everyday.
Not mainstream.
Is his name Joe O'Donovan?
No.
Oh.
But hilarious. Is Dorothea Puente. I think that's how you say her name.
Mexican.
She actually isn't Mexican at all. I think she's like fully American.
Oh damn.
Probably some Latina like ancestors somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
No, she married someone with that surname.
Oh right.
Oh,
Okay,
there you
right.
go.
That makes sense.
Um, her nickname was Death House Landlady.
Oh God,
That's
that's
great.
that's
Yeah. Um.
that's what you want to hear when you're booking, like you're signing your contract, innit? Oh, what do you go by? Death House Landlady. Right, okay.
Yeah, she basically was a caretaker for people who couldn't look after themselves. Um, and her motivation was purely money. She would get all the people that stayed at her home to sign all of their like government funds to her, so she could take it all. And she'd only give them like a tiny bit, but she'd buy them gifts to make it so they were getting more. If you get what I mean.
So
Yeah.
not only was she a serial killer,
Mhm.
she was also a dickhead.
Yeah, she killed her best friend who started a business with her. She basically drugged the woman until she was so sick that she died. And then she stole all the money.
Fucking hell.
So
Yeah.
basically, in court, they were like, "Oh, you dickhead! Yeah, you killed these
No, they
people."
didn't even know that she killed her best friend. They thought it was suicide.
Oh
Up
wow.
until they found out how many people she'd killed. Because when she finally like got her main sort of base of action, she killed anyone she didn't get along with that stayed under her care, and
Oh
she killed
wow.
quite a lot of people.
Did anyone
Um,
survive?
So was she just killing them like through drugging them and stuff? So it looked.
yeah, she would
Ah,
basically just drug them up until they became really sick, and she had in this like room, she had basically her room and then one room that was unoccupied, which was nicknamed the death room, which is great. It's where she'd put the bodies after they died,
That's where
up
she kept
until
the
the
sex
very
that
ring.
late
sounds
night.
that sounds like a good place to stay on Airbnb.
Yeah,
Hey, I'd like to
so
book a room, please. Would you like to stay in
Yeah,
the
I know,
death
right?
room? Oh.
yeah, she
How
buried
much?
everyone
20
in the
quid a
garden.
night?
Everyone thought she was gardening because like she'd work all day and then at night she'd garden.
They thought she was gardening, but no one
Yeah,
noticed like people going missing or anything. Jesus
that
Christ.
smell was just fertilizer. No one
They're
questioned
just
it.
they're just there like, oh, so you ready for your next patient? That's a bit
I'm,
quick,
I'm,
but okay.
I'm not saying I've never smelled a rotting corpse or anything, but I'm pretty sure it smells a bit different to some manure.
Yeah, right. So there's 9 confirmed victims, but there's possibly 15.
Oh, oh, Dorothy sprays shit on the lawn again, buff.
Right. What's even better is she killed her husband and she had a guy working for her and he made her a book storage in quotation mark that was 6 foot long, 2 foot deep, and 2 foot wide. Um,
A
in like
coffin.
a rectangle, yeah. And she was like, "Leave the lid off. I'll sort the lid out because I want to put the in quotation marks books inside." Sorry. Um, and she put her dead husband in it, put him in the box, and then she dumped it by a river. It was just out by the river, and a fisherman found it, and they didn't know who it was because it was that rotted up.
I could just imagine, you know, the Simpsons movie, that scene where they get rid of that big silo.
that that's just messed up.
She was claiming his money still after he died, and then on top of that, she was sending letters to his family saying he was still alive and they were happily married.
Some people are
Wouldn't they
proper
recognise the
tapped.
handwriting? Unless she's like
Yeah.
master, like
He signed them over to her.
fucking forager.
He just signed them over to her.
Oh wow.
Damn. Well, don't stay anywhere where someone's got a room called the death room, folks. My word of advice.
That's why I'm glad I'm dyslexic. So then, if like my wife ever kills me, she writes like a letter to my parents, they'd know.
They'd know because the words wouldn't be
Yeah,
spelled wrong.
yeah.
They'd be like, right,
They'd be there
this
like,
ain't him.
you spelled apology correct. What's this about?
If there's long words in it, ain't me.
In it, yeah. Nah, that's mad.
The biggest shock would be that I was sending a letter, so I think someone would figure out that it was me. Well, it wasn't me.
Would you like to stay in the death room tonight?
What gave her away is the people she didn't kill in the house were basically saying, "There's always banging noises being like dragged down the stairs. Like, It was
I'm
so
sorry,
funny.
they didn't notice people randomly disappearing.
They did, but she always came up with stories, and she was just like, "Oh, they've just gone to stay with other family members, yada yada."
Oh, I mean, yeah, I suppose if it. Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. To be fair,
Yeah, and then she would just drag the bodies down the stairs at night and bury them.
she wasn't even discreet about it.
No,
That's the
at
worst thing.
first she was. She buried one person and covered that entire area with concrete. After that, she didn't care. She just buried them anywhere.
Just thought,
Literally,
fuck it.
literally not even discreet. Just dragging it downstairs like
She just
EastEnders
covered it
theme
over.
tune.
She did not even try to hide like the majority of them.
Just one of her patients are like, "What's that loud noise, Dorothy?" She goes, "It's alright, Barbara. It's just Jimmy. I just killed him. He's on his way out."
Don't worry about it.
Neighbours
You know.
today. You're out there, Dorothy. Yeah, just taking body out. Oh, no worries, love.
What? That's mental. The fact that no one like noticed.
Mm.
Like, what about all these people that's relatives was just
She kept
gone?
them stories.
Oh my god.
Most of her victims were drunks who were on their own, who didn't have much family. But some did, and she'd just lie to them straight up.
Terry's not dead. He's living in my basement.
Like, I just don't
That's
get
a
it.
fucking
Like,
baffling
me,
story.
me personally, like, if I had any of my grandparents or family, I'd at least go check on them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not just not call our bloody what's the name?
But she was active
Ah, saying
during
that.
meetings, and communication was obviously harder back.
Well,
All it
yeah.
was letters.
They probably turned up to go see him and then got killed themselves.
Well, yeah. That's one way to solve the problem.
Yeah,
innit?
but
Oh,
it's just
you're asking.
it's just in this room. Follow me.
You're there. You're like, oh, you're asking questions. Yeah, oh, yeah, just come on through. Go on.
Come on,
No,
Frank.
Oh,
just
Put
give
your
them-
head in the
you're dead.
guillotine.
Yeah, it's you're dead.
She'd give them her drugs, which they obviously weren't meant to take. It would make them iller, but it would help her. So they got sicker up to the point where it just killed them, and then she would just like, okay, time to get rid of the body, clean up the room, get a new person in, steal all that money too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she
Silly
That's
bitch.
should know.
that's a big problem in this world. Everything being motivated by money.
Silly bitch.
Now that is a gold digger taken to extreme.
I don't even know if you can class her as a gold digger. At least gold diggers leave you alive. Like they drain your bank account and take your property, but you know what I mean.
Oh,
She
At least
didn't care about anyone until money came into the conversation. She was like, I don't really have room for you to stay. And then all of a sudden,
oh,
I'm
you've got
yeah,
300k sat in your bank account. Yeah, I've just killed someone. A new room's opened up. Don't worry.
That's not
Jesus
speaking
Christ.
speaking of money driven, I've actually just remembered of some murder. Right. So
Go on.
right, yeah, right, okay. The Menendez brothers.
Oh
If
yeah,
you know
that
the
killed
two,
the parents.
yeah, they killed the
two
parents
rich boys
to get all
that
the
killed
money.
the parents. Yeah,
And
they
then-
claimed that they'd come back and found them dead.
Yeah, like wow, that was mad. Just shotgunning the parents and then disappearing to theaters, and then come back and say that
Yeah,
they're dead. Like,
but it's with that one, it's a weird one because like obviously they was claiming that like their dad abused them
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
and that's what drove them to it. So
it's
I
actually
guess
insane. And they
I
got
get
away
I
with it
guess
for like a long time, didn't they?
yeah, but I guess if that story's true, then obviously yeah, maybe death wasn't warranted. But I kind of get it. But like you know, if it was just pure money driven, then that's fucked up
It was
on a
mad.
different.
Because apparently they didn't get abused. Like they were having like a really good life. So it was it that their uncle testified against them or something like that.
Yeah, but again, it's what goes on behind closed doors, and you never truly know. Like they could have been putting on an act like when people came around, you know, or it could have been that there was just genuinely like loving parents.
Yeah, true. But nah, that was a mad story. The fact that they got away with it for so long and like bought loads of things like as if the parents weren't dead. Like they weren't even
Yeah,
mourning. But
they didn't really seem to care.
Oh, boy, madness.
But yeah, it's money. Money drives a lot of crimes. That's the problem.
The only
That's the
crime,
problem.
the only
That's
crime I'll
well,
commit
in
is
their
good
case,
looking.
it's not because of poverty, because they wasn't poor. But in a lot of cases where people are poor, money can drive. Money can, the need for money can drive them to crime.
The only crime I'm committing is watching porn.
Oh my
It's not a
God.
crime. You're 18.
It was when I was younger.
Well, yeah. I suppose. So.
I promise I never did that. Don't look me up.
The only crime I've ever committed was none, because,
You're a good boy.
yeah,
Don't do drugs.
don't do drugs, stay in,
Or
Don't
stay
underage.
in
drink.
school.
Don't drink. Drinking's bad.
Oh, no,
Wait till you're of age.
Yeah. Wait till you're
wait
21.
till
Maybe
you're
a
of
little.
age. 21? No, it's 18, Dutch,
Yeah, but
stupid.
most of our viewers are American anyway.
Oh.
Apparently.
Get your laws changed, because
Speaking-
21's boring.
Speaking of viewers, right? I've been looking at the analytics, and it says that 64% of you guys that are watching this aren't subscribed. So if you could just do us a favour and subscribe, it'd mean a lot. You know,
I'm like,
Hey,
Hit
64%.
the subscribe.
64%.
It's free. It doesn't cost anything.
Innit? And if it
unless
did
you wanna
cost you,
go to the Patreon.
If it did cost
yeah.
you, I'd apologise for it.
Oh no. So much has happened since Joe's left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we've grown stronger.
I've got
The
something.
audio has gotten way better.
But where are we at? How long we been going?
Been going for a good half hour, at least.
I mean,
I can,
do we want to wrap it up here, or do we want to go on?
Is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about?
I mean, not really. No.
Yeah, I ain't got much.
In terms of serial killers, you could go on forever and ever, like,
We don't want to bore you with our old antics.
Exactly. We don't want to keep people too long. We don't want to.
He
We don't
sounds
wanna
like he's
stop.
about to pass out.
He's about to piss out. No, you know me, mate. I'm always yawning. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We've all chipped in. We've had his fair share. Hopefully next time when we do this, we'll have someone to interview, because
Yeah.
that was a fun one.
We
We
did
enjoyed
enjoy
the
that.
interview one. I think that was probably the best one we've done, just because of the layout and structure of it, and it's interesting learning about people and what they do and things like that.
Exactly.
So, me parting words would be to please leave a like and subscribe. Check out our affiliate Fade Grips. Use code TUG for 20% off at the checkout. Check out the socials. We'll have them linked down below. Give them a follow. We post updates and stuff on there and let people know what's going on. And if you're interested in joining TUG, either drop a comment with your Discord name or hit us up on one of the socials and we'll make that happen. That's all from me.
Don't forget, right? If you do want to represent us out in the streets, make sure.
I forgot about.
Make sure you get
about the merch.
either your Ewok 10 Dicks merch, right, or you get your Crashly Two Animals That Are Dead merch. They're actually, I must say, I'm actually enjoying this. I do like it.
And they've got a cool little QR code that sends people over to the channel. We're planning on adjusting that in the future to have a small triangle displaying free QR codes for all of our medias.
Yeah.
But get the merch if you want it. Like,
if you're looking
no
for
one's forcing you.
If you're looking for something a bit more chill, we do have a different merch line of just nice, like, little designs for comfy clothes.
Yeah,
They
just
are
TUG ones. It just represents TUG.
Yeah, so make sure you check them out. And actually, we do have a 10% code on, and it's code DISILIC.
Oh, it is code Disselect. You'll have to flash that up on the screen
It'll come
on
up.
how to spell it.
It'll
It'll come
be
up.
mad.
We'll figure something out.
Put some
I
fire
think
effects, lightning.
yeah, like some explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
As well. I don't know if you can do this, but if you can, link the interview in the top right.
Will
Get
do.
that up there because that's a good one to watch.
Right up there. Make sure you go check
Right
it
up
out
there.
because we had
Oh.
the enjoyment, the
Exactly.
joys of interviewing a Marine, and it was really good.
We got to learn what life was like
And
in the US Army.
if you want to see more of Luna, just message her. Tell her to fucking get in here.
Yeah, no, tell her to appear.
Yeah.
Like she can help us with the interviews because sometimes
We
we run out of
struggle.
questions. we run out of questions. It's hard interviewing people. You don't know.
Sometimes
You don't know that.
we just need a feminine touch.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. Like it's hard. You know.
We mainly go straight in
Sort
there.
of, like, emotional kind of
Yeah.
question.
Normally we
Exactly.
just hit straight in. Would you rather suck 10 dicks one time or one dick 10 times?
Oh my god.
That's the first question.
There's only one true answer to that, but
Yeah.
you've got to figure that out yourself.
Well, actually, to Luna, it don't really count, does it?
What do you mean?
It's not as controversial as it is being a man. But yeah. So anyway, we'll see you next time, guys.